Hello, Sugar Plums. Welcome back to my channel. Guys, happy new year. I am so happy to be back, and this is our very first official video of 2022. Now I'm just showing you a little pic of what we're gonna be making, guys, but for this year I hope you guys gonna help me. If you have like any suggestion of what you want me to do, or anything that you would love for me to do more on the channel, please let me know. And also, let's just go ahead and have a lot of fun this year. We're gonna try new things, do like stuff that we haven't done on this channel. So it's up to you guys. Let me know anything that you love me to do or try to do. I'll go ahead and do that. And on that note, guys, we're gonna try to grow this family a little bit more. So if you're watching and this is your first time here, first of all, happy new year and thank you for being here. But on that note, just go ahead and subscribe to the channel. That will help us out a lot. Now we're gonna jump right into the tutorial. Now I have this two pieces of wood. I cut them myself. I had a big piece of like 3/4 inch plywood, so I went and cut it out, and I decided to cut it like in a very irregular shape because I wanted to do 2 in 1 now. And then I finished sanding it, and then I painted it in a white. Now what I'm doing right now, I'm just using like a pencil, and I'm want to draw out how I want my geode to be. Now it's always a good idea when you're making a big piece like this, and if it's a geode or whatever art that you're making, to draw out a picture. That way you have like a clear image on what you want to do. That way you're not gonna mess up a bit. Now again, I'm just gonna be using all like different crystal, and as you can see, guys, I made those myself. I have a video tutorial for that. I'm gonna go and include the link for you in the description box below, as well at the end of the video, or you can click on the link right here on the left or the right on the screen right there to take you to that video itself. It's a very easy way to make your own crushed glass at home. Now because we're making a druzy type of crystal, we're gonna need a lot of crystal to make that geode. So I'm gonna be using some light blue, some dark blue, and a gold. Again, the color theme for this is gonna be blue, purple, and gold. So that's why we're gonna go ahead and choose those crystal to make. Now first thing I did, I went out and lay down all my crystal first. Now it's easier for you to do it that way. Instead of mixing your crystal with epoxy, you don't really want to do that because you don't want the the crushed glass or the crystal that you're using to lose their luster, because the epoxy is gonna dry on top of them. It's still gonna be shiny, but it's not gonna be as shiny. So what you want to do is put your crystal down, and then you're gonna sprinkle the clear epoxy on top of them. You don't need a lot, guys. Now I went and mixed about 8 ounces of epoxy, and then I'm gonna do my first layer. Now I'm gonna be using the maroon gold for this. Now the reason that I want to use the gold by itself is because the maroon gold is very potent. Now if you use it with like any other color next to it, it will probably take over, guys. But this is such a beautiful pigment because it floats to the surface. When you heat it up, it gives you those beautiful cells. So I love this. Now everything that I'm gonna be using gonna be on my Amazon store, and the links gonna be again in the description box below, so make sure you should check them out if you want to use them or buy those products yourself. Now all I'm doing right now, and I'm using my clear epoxy to kind of sprinkle, drizzle some epoxy on top of the crystal, so that way the epoxy will drip down and they will stay in the to the board. Now I'm also using the powder, diamond powder, to sprinkle on top of the clear part, and don't put any epoxy on top of that because when the light catches, oh my god, it's so beautiful. Now those are like a sharp glass, like almost like shaved ice glass, but they can be very sharp. So if you're gonna use that product, you have to be extremely careful. Now again, I'm gonna go with my maroon gold, and I'm gonna just follow the little bit of design that I put on the board, just so I can know exactly where I want to put it. Again, this is just gonna be my first layer. I'm gonna leave it to completely cure because I don't want this gold to mix with my other color. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put my gold down, and as you'll be able to see, guys, once you put heat to that gold, it's gonna give you like beautiful cell. So I absolutely love that gold, and it's a very dark, like rich metallic gold. It's not like your regular bright, it's not very bright. As you're gonna see on this piece, we're gonna have different type of gold. Some of them is gonna be brighter and some of them gonna be lighter, and also we're gonna have some gold glitter as well, just to kind of give the piece like some depths and different definition on it. Now I went with a little bit of epoxy that I have left. I went and mixed my gold glitter on it, and then we're just gonna go ahead and place the gold glitter. Again, I'm gonna go ahead, once we're done with this, we're gonna let it cure overnight. You need to let it cure, guys. Don't put any color on it if you're gonna do anything with the maroon gold, because like I say, it's very important. It tends to take over your piece. A little bit goes a long way. It's a beautiful pigment. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish doing that, and I'm gonna be showing you when you put the heat on it, you're gonna see the cell creating on it. Again, guys, when you're using epoxy, make sure you have your proper gear, make sure you have your gloves, your mask, and make sure you are working in a ventilated area, because as you can see, it will smoke out quite a lot and you don't want to breathe in that fume. Okay, so this is what it looks like. You can see all those beautiful cells that the maroon gold created. So we're gonna go ahead and let this cure overnight completely, and then we're gonna come back for day number 2. Now day number 2, we're gonna be working with all the other different colors, and this is when we're gonna finish the board itself. In terms of like adding the colors, it's gonna take a few more days to completely finish it, because when you're working with a big piece like this and you want to have a lot of depth and on it, you're gonna need to work like one day at a time, and that way your piece will be a whole lot more beautiful. Now for the colors, again, I'm gonna go with blues and purples, and I already have my gold down. Now for the blue, I'm gonna go with 2 different blue, a darker blue and a lighter blue, and purple, the same thing. I'm gonna go with a deep purple and a lavender color. Now the lighter blue is a silver blue, and then we're gonna be using a little bit of pearl white, and then a tiny little bit of silver black. Now all the pigment that I use, again, you can find them on the Amazon store that I create especially for you guys. Everything that I use, I always put them in the store, and it's everything that's on the store, it's stuff that I actually purchased myself and use and tested, so I put them for you guys if you want to go and try them out. Now using your glove finger, I'm just gonna go ahead and spread out my colors. Again, make sure that you have like some kind of paper towel or like baby wipe there to kind of wipe your glove after each pass, because you don't want to mix the colors. If like right now we're gonna have the blue, it's fine if you have a little bit of the lighter blue and the darker blue, but you don't want to put the blue in the purple or even the purple in the white. So make sure you have like something to wipe your glove hands, like a alcohol wipe, something like this. So right now I'm putting down my purple, and then we're gonna go ahead and put all the colors down. Now once we put all the colors down, we're gonna be using our heat gun and our torch to kind of diffuse the colors and let them blend into each other, to make it, give it like a more organic look, because we're making a geode, those colors kind of blend into each other, but you still have the colors like very nice and defined. So we're gonna go ahead and do our best to kind of blend them out, and then using your heat gun. Your heat gun is your best friend when you're making stuff like this. Also your torch, if you don't have a torch, it's fine, but torch is also good because it help you kind of diffuse the colors, and also it'll help you create a lot of cell in your in the different pigment that you're using. Again, guys, make sure you have your protective gear on, and make sure you're wearing a mask when you're doing any type of project, but especially for a project that is this big. Make sure you have a mask on, a nice mask on, and make sure you are working in a ventilated area. Very, very important. Do not skip that test, guys. Okay, so again, I'm gonna be using my heat gun. You're gonna see once you use your heat gun on it, the color's gonna kind of diffuse a little bit. It's gonna be bleeding into each other to give it a more organic look and not like that straight line. Again, once we finish doing that, we're gonna furthermore dissolve the colors a little bit by using the torch, and that's gonna create some cell. Now once we finish doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and add another set of crystal, and that crystal I bought them from Amazon. I did not make those because those are like, you know, those table acrylic loose gemstone, but it's beautiful. But later on, after I finished putting my crystal there, I decided that to change the color of the crystal, so I went and added some blue, very deep blue glitter on top of them, and a little bit of the green glitter in some places, just to kind of give it more depth. And because I didn't want that glitter to be so bright there, I wanted to deepen it. I lost the footage for that. I'm not sure if my camera was off, but I could not find the footage. But that's all I did. I went and put the glitter on it, and then put a little bit of epoxy, clear epoxy on top of it to make sure the stones stay there. And then now what I'm doing right now, I went with a silver of red glitter from Let's Resin, mix it with a little bit of epoxy using a pipette. I'm just gonna go ahead and create some line with the silver, just you know, to kind of give it a little bit more to clean it up a little bit more and give it a little bit more sparkle. Now once we finish doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and let it cure overnight again. So that's gonna be the end of day number 2. Guys, you know, I love to do this big project when you take a lot of time to do them, because once the finished piece is done, it's come out and it's so beautiful because you have so much depth and definition on it. Now this is day number 3. I'm showing right now. You can see the pieces coming together. Now day number 3 is time that it's gonna be all about cleaning up and adding detail. That's all day number 3 gonna be. We're not gonna be using a lot of epoxy. I'm gonna be using UV resin. I'm showing right now through the magic of camera. We are completely done. And what I did with day number 3, I went and carry over all the crystal that we have. I make sure that they carry over on the side, like the gold crystal, we put it on the side where the gold is, the blue, and you know, the lighter blue, the white, so it just kind of carry over to the side. And I use the UV resin to glue them down. But if you don't have UV resin, you can usually use heat gun, like, you know, your silicone hot glue to do that. It's fine, perfectly fine also. And then now what I'm doing, I'm using a gold pen to put some line in it, you know, those vein in the piece. I'm also gonna be using a silver pen, but unfortunately I do not have a white pen, so I'm just gonna be using like regular white acrylic pen with 2 different like size of pen brushes. That's very thin. You have to use like very thin tip for the paintbrush, you know, in order for you to get those line. And you can use different type to make some line a little bit bigger than the other. So once I finish doing that, I'm gonna let it sit for like about 30 minutes or 1 hour to let the acrylic paint dry completely. And then after that, we're gonna go and add more detail on it by using the same silver red glitter that we had before and the maroon gold. But this time I use my Dual Clear varnish, high gloss varnish, to mix with them, because you want to have time to take your time to work on it. So don't mix it with epoxy. I use the varnish on it, and all I'm doing with the silver is I'm just gonna go over some of the line, and then we're gonna fill up, you know, the line in between the 2 line. And this is gonna create so much beautiful depth and so much beautiful detail on it, and give it a lot more sparkle. And the same thing we're gonna be doing with the gold, because this gold is, you know, darker than the pen. Then the pen itself is gonna give it a little bit more dimension on it. And also I decided to put like a line of the gold on going in the middle of the blue, and then that's it. We're gonna go ahead and let it dry overnight again, because this is like that was the varnish. You don't need to do anything with it. It's gonna cure and dry completely flat out. Now this is day number 4, and day number 4 it's time we're gonna go ahead and do our flood coat and completely be done with the project. Now when you're doing your flood coat, make sure, like, if you had carry over the stone or the crystal on the edge, make sure you sprinkle some clear crystal, some clear epoxy on top of those newly added crystal, so that way you make sure that they're not gonna come or fall off anytime soon. And when you're putting your clear epoxy down, do not put clear epoxy on top of your stone, guys. Just use the epoxy where you have your flat surface. Don't put any epoxy on your stone anymore, because you don't want to dull them out. I'm just gonna go ahead and put my clear epoxy on top of my my board, and then using my glove finger again, I'm just gonna spread them out, make sure I have everything nice and in every spot. And then once I'm doing that, the one thing that I like to do after I do that, to make sure that I have all my every part of the board completely covered with epoxy, that you don't miss any part, or you're gonna be using like a flashlight. I'm gonna be using my phone to do that, and all I'm gonna be doing is kind of using my flashlight and carefully go over it, and then making sure that you have like epoxy cover every single part of it. And one of the things that you can also do is kind of go at the level of your table, so you can your eyes can be at the same level of the board, so that way you will be able to see if you have any missing spot. Now once I find out that everything is nice and covered, I'm gonna cover the piece up and let it cure overnight. And this is a quick look of what it looked like with the wet epoxy on it, and then I'm just gonna cover it and let it cure overnight. Now the next morning, guys, that's it, the piece is completely done. Now all we have to do is clean up, and by cleaning up I mean removing the tape on the back. And yes, I did put tape on the back because you do not need the extra work if you don't put tape on the back, guys, because you're gonna have a lot of drip. So taping the back when you're working with a wooden piece, like, it's gonna save you a lot of time and a heartache, trust me. And to remove the tape on the back, guys, it's super easy. All you have to do is pull it out, and if you find that it's kind of difficult for you to kind of remove the edge part where you have the drip, all you have to do is take your heat gun and lightly heat it up, and they will come off right off. I'm gonna be showing you right now. I'm just gonna pull my tape off, and we're gonna remove a little bit of it, and then we're gonna finish the whole part of camera, and then I'm gonna bring you up, guys, for close up. And the piece is extremely beautiful. Now this is a 2-in-1 piece. Again, it's a very large board, and it's super heavy. It's about 10 pounds. It's a little bit over 10 pounds, so it's a very nice big piece. And the plywood itself, it's about 3/4 inches, so it's a very nice and sturdy piece. Now this will be available for sale on my website, and my website link is down in the description box below, or you can go directly to www.bellaricustomdesigns.com. And again, it's a Geode piece. It's just gonna be that one available. I'm not gonna be making another one. Again, you cannot make two to look exactly the same. Every single piece gonna be different. So if you're interested to in this piece, you can go on my website and it will be available for sale. Now guys, again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for an amazing 2021, guys. I was so happy that you were part of my beautiful Sugar Plum family. Let's just go ahead and try to grow this channel even more. And again, if you're watching this video and you haven't had time to subscribe, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to go ahead and hit the notification bell so you can be notified on all my new videos. Guys, I have many other videos on my channel. If you're interested, you can go ahead and check them out to see. We have some coaster videos, some glass video. We have many videos, so go ahead and check them out. Guys, I love you so much. I will see you soon, but until then, you know the drill. Be blessed and stay blessed. I love you guys. Bye. Mwah.